Hello, grade 5 students. How are you all doing? So as you all know, plants like us are living organisms. So they need food to live and grow. This food gives them the energy they need. What are different ways plants use to get the food they need? Green plants go through the food making process called photosynthesis to produce their own food. So green plants can live by themselves and they don't need other organisms' help. Symbiotic plants are plants that need help. So they go through symbiotic relationships such as mutualism, commensalism, and parasitism with other organisms. Carnivorous plants are plants that go through photosynthesis, so they are producers, but the food they produce is not enough. These plants feed on small animals such as mice, frogs, and insects to get the food they need. Green plants, which are the producers, need several things to grow. They take in carbon dioxide from the air using their stomata, the stomata of the leaves. They also use their roots to take water and minerals from the soil. And the chlorophyll that gives them their green color helps them to catch sunlight energy for photosynthesis. Through photosynthesis or by photosynthesis, plants combine carbon dioxide from the air, water from the soil in the presence of sunlight energy. So I will add sunlight energy right here to produce their food, which is a kind of sugar called glucose, and release oxygen into the atmosphere. Now, this sugar produced will help the plant to make the needed energy, which is the ATP energy. Plants breathe, they take in oxygen, they combine oxygen with sugar to produce the needed ATP energy, this precious ATP energy that will help the plant grow. By this process, plants release carbon dioxide and water. Respiration and photosynthesis are parts of the carbon cycle that keeps the amount of carbon balanced in nature. So plants are producers. Let me start with this. So green plants are producers. They take in carbon dioxide from the air to produce their own food through a process, as I said, called photosynthesis. By this process, plants release oxygen to the outside. This oxygen will be used by other organisms, such as other plants, animals, and people to breathe. This oxygen will also be used to burn fossil fuels. These processes, organisms' respiration and burning fossil fuels, will release or will put back carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Another way to turn back carbon to nature is what decomposers do. When plants, animals, and people die, their dead bodies are decomposed by small living organisms, such as fungi, such as bacteria, insects like worms, ants, snails, into minerals. Look at this video showing how mold, which is a kind of fungi, decompose a fruit. Look at this dead insect being decomposed by mushrooms or fungi. Okay, so the job of decomposers, these small animals, is to clean the nature from dead organisms, dead people, dead plants, dead animals, and turn them into minerals. The minerals are back to the soil, and the minerals will be used by the plants to grow. The carbon found in the soil will turn after millions and millions of years into fossil fuel that will be used by people for different processes. Now, let's talk about other animals. So I said that snails, ants, worms are decomposers. Are animals decomposers? Are they all producers? Let's see. So animals, first of all, are not producers. They do not go through photosynthesis to make their food. Do they have stomata to take in carbon dioxide or roots to take water from the soil? Do they use sunlight energy to mix them and to produce sugar? No, they don't do that. Green plants are almost the only producers on Earth. So animals do not produce their own food. They do not also decompose dead bodies into minerals. Look at the panda, this bird, different animals. Are they decomposing dead bodies? They are not. They are eating, eating plants, eating other animals, eating fish. Plant or these animals are consumers, eaters. Animals cannot produce their own food. They eat, they consume. What do they eat? They eat plants, they eat other animals. Let's talk about groups of animals. I want you to look carefully at these documents. So you have the elephants feeding on plants, the donkey and the cow eating grass. This group of animals includes all animals that feed on plants mainly. Okay? We will give a name for this group. The giraffe also is a part of this group. This group of animals is called herbivores. Herbivores are the animals that feed mainly on plants. What are some examples of herbivores? Elephants, giraffes, donkeys, cows, sheep, and I know that you know more examples. Again, herbivores are animals that feed mainly on plants. Plants include leaves, grass, flowers. Some animals eat the nectar of the flower. Some others eat fruits. So all food from a plant origin, when consumed by animals, the animals are considered herbivores. What about the second group of animals? Here you go, some examples. A snake eating a rat or a mouse, the lion, the hyenas. The animals in this group are feeding mainly on other animals, different animals. Look at the scorpion also eating insects, the frog catching the insect. So animals that feed on other animals, on mammals or insect, on fish, also animals that feed on blood, such as the mosquito, for example, are called carnivores. Carnivorous animals are animals that feed on other animals. They feed mainly on meat. Meat includes insects and different animals. What are some examples? Eagles, owls, tigers, frogs, spiders, for example. These are all carnivores. So till now you know, herbivores feed on plants, carnivores feed on animals. The animals in group 3. Here we have a chicken. In the first document, the chicken is feeding on grains, on seeds, and the second one, the chicken is eating worms. So, plants and animals. Do we consider the chicken as a herbivore or a carnivore? Look at the bear. The bear eats fish. This is the brown bear. and it eats berries too, it eats fruits. So what do we consider these animals? When they feed on both plants and animals, the animals are called omnivores. An omnivorous animal, such as people, right? We eat both plants and animals. When an animal feeds on both plants and animals, we consider it as an omnivore. Omnivorous animals are able to eat plants and animals like humans, like monkeys, like some birds. Okay, what I need you to know at the end of this lecture. Producers. Can you tell me what's a producer? Yes, it is a living thing or an organism that produces its own food through photosynthesis. Herbivore. A herbivorous animal is an animal that feeds mainly on plants. An omnivorous animal is an animal that eats both plants and animals. Carnivores. Carnivores are organisms that eat meat mainly. Decomposers are the organisms that decompose or break down dead bodies. What are some examples of producers? The green plants, the strawberry plant, the apple tree, the oak tree, all are examples of green plants that produce their own food. Rabbits, kangaroos, sheep, horses are herbivores. People, raccoons, brown bears are omnivores. Wolves, tigers are carnivorous animals. Ants, fungi, snails, and bacteria are decomposers. If you still have any question about this lecture, please let me know. Bye-bye.